Watch a child. Every emotion shows on their face. Every impulse becomes action. Someone takes their toy, they scream. Someone insults them, they cry. They react to everything because they haven't learned control. Now watch a dangerous man. Someone disrespects him, his face doesn't change. Someone tries to provoke him, he doesn't flinch. Someone attacks him, he responds, but he doesn't react. And that difference, that single difference between reacting and responding, is what separates boys from men, weakness from power, chaos from control. Once a man stops reacting, he becomes dangerous. Not because he's violent, but because he's calculated, unpredictable, uncontrollable. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why emotional control is the most powerful weapon you'll ever possess. Part 1. The difference between reacting and responding. Reacting and responding are not the same thing. A reaction is automatic, emotional, uncontrolled. Someone insults you, and before you even think, you're insulting them back. Someone cuts you off in traffic, rage floods your system. Someone challenges you, you immediately defend yourself. That's a reaction, and it's weak. A response is different. A response is deliberate, calculated, controlled. Someone insults you, and you pause, you assess. You decide if this person even deserves your energy. Then you respond or you don't, based on strategy, not emotion. Here's the key. Reactions happen to you. Responses come from you. When you react, you're being controlled. The other person pushed a button, and you danced like a puppet. They won. When you respond, you're in control. You choose the timing. You choose the method. You choose whether to engage at all. You won. And this is what makes a man dangerous, because he cannot be controlled through emotion. He cannot be baited. He cannot be manipulated. He cannot be predicted. Part 2. Why reactions make you weak. Every time you react emotionally, you reveal your weaknesses. You show the world exactly where you're vulnerable. Your buttons, your triggers, your insecurities. And smart people remember. They file that information away. Next time they want to control you, they know exactly which button to push. You've handed them your remote control. Reactions also waste your energy. They spike your cortisol. They flood your system with stress hormones. They burn through your mental bandwidth. For what? To win an argument with someone who doesn't matter? You're spending premium currency on worthless outcomes. And reactions damage your reputation. When you lose control, when you lash out, when you become predictable, you lose respect. Not just theirs, your own. Because deep down, you know that reaction wasn't your choice. It was their control over you. Worst of all, reactions create patterns. Every time you react the same way to the same trigger, you're training yourself, reinforcing a neural pathway, making that reaction more automatic, until you can't stop reacting even when you want to. You've become a slave to your emotions. Part 3. What makes you dangerous. When you stop reacting, everything changes. You become unreadable. When people can't predict your emotional responses, they can't manipulate you. That uncertainty creates power, because in the absence of information, people fear, and fear creates respect. You reclaim your energy. When you're not emotionally reacting to every provocation, you're conserving massive amounts of mental and emotional energy. Energy you can invest in things that actually matter. Your goals, your growth, your mission. You force others to raise their game. When you don't react to cheap provocations, people realize their usual tactics don't work on you. Either they leave you alone, or they engage with you on a higher level. Either way, you win. And you activate strategic thinking. When you're not reacting, you're thinking. You're assessing. You're calculating the best move. You're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. A dangerous man isn't violent or aggressive. He's dangerous to anyone who tries to control him through emotion. Dangerous to anyone who tries to manipulate him. Dangerous to anyone who underestimates him because he doesn't react. Your unpredictability keeps them off balance. Your patience terrifies the impatient. Your emotional independence makes you immune to their games. And your calculated responses, when you do engage, are surgical, precise, and devastating. Part 4. How to stop reacting. Start with the pause. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is your power. When something triggers you, pause. Count to 3. Count to 10 if you need to. Just create that gap. Question the impulse. Ask yourself, why do I want to react right now? What am I trying to prove? And does it actually serve me? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Zoom out. Ask, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? If no, it doesn't deserve an emotional reaction now. Practice strategic silence. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response. Silence is a mirror. It reflects people's own issues back at them. Redirect the energy. When you feel that reactive impulse rising, channel it somewhere productive. Into your workout, into your work, into your purpose, and detach from outcomes. Stop needing to win every interaction. Stop needing the last word. When you're not attached to outcomes, you can't be controlled through them. Part 5. The transformation. When you master this, people treat you differently. They approach you with more respect because they know you can't be rattled. Your relationships improve because you're responding thoughtfully, not reacting emotionally. Your career accelerates because you're the person who stays calm under pressure, who thinks clearly in crisis. Your mental health transforms. Anxiety decreases. Depression lifts. Peace becomes your baseline. And most importantly, you respect yourself more. Because every time you pause instead of react, every time you respond strategically instead of emotionally, you prove to yourself that you're in control, and that builds unshakable confidence. But before I continue, if this message is hitting home, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel gives you psychological tools that create real transformation. And every subscription tells the algorithm that depth matters, that this content needs to reach more men who are stuck in reactive patterns and giving away their power. Subscribe now, and hit that like button too. Now let me show you the transformation. Think about the man you were when you clicked on this video. Maybe someone who reacts, who gets triggered easily, who gives away power without realizing it. Now think about the man you could become. The man who pauses, who assesses, who chooses his responses, who cannot be controlled, cannot be manipulated, cannot be predicted. The man who's dangerous, not because he's aggressive, but because he's calculated. That transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional learning, consistent exposure to truth, daily practice of new patterns. And that's exactly what this channel provides. Deep dives into psychology, real strategies for masculine development, tools for emotional mastery. But the algorithm is brutal. It doesn't reward depth, it rewards engagement. Subscribers, likes, comments. When those numbers are strong, YouTube pushes the video to millions. When they're weak, it dies. Right now, thousands of men who desperately need this message will never see it unless you engage. So here's what I need. First, subscribe. Right now, not later. Because every day you delay is another day you might miss the video that gives you your next breakthrough. Second, hit that like button. That like tells YouTube this matters. Show it to more people. It tells me yes, more of this. Third, drop a comment. Tell me one situation where you reacted this week when you should have responded. Type it out. Acknowledge the pattern. Because that's the first step to breaking it. And when you read the comments, you'll realize you're not alone. Thousands of men are fighting the same battles. This isn't just a YouTube channel. This is a brotherhood of men choosing control over chaos, strategy over emotion, power over weakness. Fourth, share this video. Think about that one guy who needs this message. Your brother who flies off the handle. Your friend who's constantly getting baited. Send him this video. This video taught you one principle. Stop reacting. Start responding. But emotional mastery isn't just one principle. It's an entire system. Setting boundaries, caring without attachment, becoming unavailable, walking away, building purpose. Every video on this channel gives you one more piece. If you commit, if you subscribe, watch, and apply, 6 months from now, you'll be completely different. The man who can't be controlled, can't be manipulated, can't be broken. The man who responds instead of reacts, who thinks instead of feels, who chooses instead of defaults. The dangerous man. Not dangerous to others, dangerous to mediocrity, to manipulation, to anyone who tries to control you. So fight for that version of you. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and most importantly, apply. Take what you learned today. Next time someone tries to trigger you, pause. Next time you feel that reactive impulse, question it. Next time you want to lash out, respond strategically. One pause at a time, one strategic response at a time, one moment of control at a time. That's how you become dangerous. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember, once a man stops reacting, he becomes dangerous. Not because of what he does, but because of what he controls. Now go subscribe, go like, go comment, and go become untouchable. You've got this.